Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my dream Natasha Denona purple palette. Based off of the newest Natasha Denona palette, the Roxa palette, I switched some shades around and I created what for me would be an even better Roxa palette, an even better purple palette. I basically took off all of the warmer or more fuchsia shades that you can find in the Roxa palette and I replaced those shades for colors that are a little bit more neutral or cool toned or a little bit more purple overall, and I'm pretty happy with the way that my dream Natasha Denona purple palette turned out. In today's video, I'm going to show you the palette. I'm going to share with you the shades that I switched around and which palettes I got those shades from, and I'm of course going to be doing some swatches and a couple of eyeshadow looks with my dream Natasha Denona purple palette. I cannot wait. If you guys are excited for this video, give it a thumbs up and let's go ahead and get started. I have a couple of announcements on amazing sales going on at the moment to share with you. So first things first, I have an incredible discount on BK Beauty brushes for you. The BK Beauty Holy Grail Brush Trio, by the way, is back in stock on the BK Beauty website. I have it linked right here in the video. And you can get a set with the 3 best-selling BK Beauty brushes. These brushes are incredible for anything liquid and cream. The 101 is a fantastic foundation brush. The A506 is incredible for color corrector or concealer. And then I also really love the 109 when it comes to blending out your bronzer or blush. I'm obviously talking liquid and cream makeup products. The density of these brushes and the fact that they're synthetic makes them perfect to blend out your liquid and cream products. And I have a 30% discount code to share with you. If you use code PATTY30 on the BK Beauty website, you get 30% off of this set, which I highly recommend if you're interested in it, or anything else you want to purchase on the BK Beauty website. So click on the product tagged right here on the video to enter the BK Beauty website, and then you can use code PATTY30 to get 30% off of anything you purchase there. I'm super grateful that the BK Beauty team gave me the opportunity to share this promotion with you guys, so definitely take advantage if you're interested. Let me show you the actual set. You get this beautiful box right here, the 3 brushes, and then there's also a makeup bag in there. And then the other announcement is also brush related. When it comes to liquid and cream products, these I love, but you guys know I am a sucker for REPHR brushes when it comes to anything powder related. REPHR makes my absolute most favorite eyeshadow brushes ever. They are incomparable to anything else on the market in my opinion, and they run these incredible sales on their brushes, and their best sale of the year is happening right now. I have the REPHR link down below in the description box. I think I'm able to tag REPHR on the video right now, but I can't tag the products on sale. So go to the link in the description box and it'll take you to their concept store where everything is at least 50% off. Some of the products are even more discounted than 50% off. This is their best sale of the year. They do it every fall, and it is the perfect time if you don't have REPHR brushes yet to get your hands on the most incredible eyeshadow brushes ever. When it comes to powder for the face, the 05 brush is my absolute most favorite, by the way. So I would highly recommend getting some type of eye set and the 05 brush from REPHR. I love the core eye set. I love the set that has the brushes for hooded eyes, and also the Shoto brushes that are a recent release from REPHR are also 50% off on their website right now. Also a set that I highly recommend because those brushes are extremely versatile. So if you've been thinking about getting some REPHR brushes, this is the perfect time to do so, and I just wanted to make you aware of these incredible sales going on in case you want to take advantage. If you were not interested in any of that at all, I apologize, but I know that a big chunk of my audience was interested in it, so I wanted to make sure that everyone knew. Let me start by showing you the Natasha Denona purple palette of my dreams. I of course have it in the Roxa palette case, and take a look at the inside right here. You can see a few changes, 5 to be specific. I switched out these 3 shades. I switched out this shade and this one here as well. And this is actually a placeholder because the actual shade that I want for that spot is this one from this palette, but I can't get it out of the mini palette, so I have a similar one instead there just so I could show you. but I'll show you what this one looks like because this is the one I wish I could put in there. You might be thinking I didn't change that much, but I like the Roxa palette. I just don't like the very pink shades that were in that palette or the reddish looking shades that were in that palette. So these are the ones that I took out, and I instead replaced them with shades from other palettes that I absolutely love and I thought fits my vision a little better. As you can see, the first row is pretty much unchanged. The only shade I changed was the fifth one, and I switched out the shade called Regal, and in its place I put the shade called Dainty. And Dainty actually comes from the Natasha Denona pastel palette, and it is the shade that goes right up here. I am of course going to swatch everything for you in a minute. I just want to show you where I pulled the shades from. So Dainty is the shade that you will find right here. It's a very cool tone, pinky type shade. Second row, the first three colors are from the Roxa palette, and then I switched the fourth and fifth shade. I took away the color Harmony from here, which was one of the reddish type shades, and I changed it for a very glittery sparkly shade called Affinity. And Affinity I actually got from the Natasha Denona Love Face palette, and it is the color that goes right here. It's a very sparkly metallic type shade that I absolutely love, and I thought it went really well in this palette. And then I also switched the last shade in this row. I took off the color Cerise, which was again one of those red shades, and instead I have the shade Mesh in there. Mesh is a color I took from the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette, and it is the color that goes right down here. And it's basically a very nude transition type shade that I love, and I feel like will soften up some of the purples to create very wearable purple looks. So I put that one there. From row number 3, I actually changed 2 shades. The first one and the last one. So the first one I changed it, but not for the color that is in there. I'm sorry if that's confusing, but I just couldn't put anything in there because the color I changed it to is this one here, the color R from the Natasha Denona Mini Love palette. The color R is just a bit darker and more mauvey looking than its placeholder, so that's the color that goes in there. The next 3 shades are from the Roxa palette, and then the other shade I switched is the 5th and last shade from this palette. I took away the color Orchid, which was very pink looking to me, and I switched it for a very neutral, deep, dark brown shade. This shade here is called Opart, and I got Opart from the Natasha Denona Retro palette, and it's the shade that goes right there. Now, I'm not sure if this is perfection or like my exact vision of a purple palette, but it's the best I was able to do with already existing Natasha Denona shades in my collection. And overall, I think it looks pretty cohesive. I really like this color story. I basically switched the reddish, dark pink, fuchsia looking shades for more neutral shades that I think are going to complement the purples and also soften them for those of you, of us, because I include myself in that like the purple look but a little bit more toned down. So let's go ahead and swatch the Natasha Denona purple palette of my dreams. The first 4 colors are Dixie, Jacaranda. Sorry, I couldn't do those swatches live. Flutter is next because I started talking while swatching and I messed up. And then the fourth color is Phoebe. Then we have the first shade, not from this palette, which is the shade Dainty from the pastel palette. I just feel like this pink goes so well with these purples. Eclipse and Stargirl are from the Roxa palette. And then we have Bolt from the Roxa palette, which is the only actual lavender shimmer shade. Affinity from the Love Face and Eyes palette, and Mesh from the I Need a Nude palette. Next, the shade R from the Mini Love palette. Right down here, see, it's just a beautiful mauve shade. Concord, Velour, and Brink, which are all from the Roxa palette. And then the shade Opart from the Retro palette, which is one of Natasha's creamy mattes. So take a look right here at my swatches. What do you guys think? This is the purple palette of my dreams, or as close to it as we can get with Natasha Denona shades. I love it. I do know that it still has some pink shades going on in there, but pink and purple do go really well together. I'm not opposed to some pink. I just didn't want it to be dark or fuchsia or reddish looking, you know. I definitely wanted to go a little bit more cool toned. I considered some blue shimmer shades from different Natasha Denona palettes to add in here, but none of them were convincing enough for me. And so this is what I came up with. This is actually the first time I'm swatching all of the shades I selected next to each other, and I'm really loving the way that they all look with each other. I'm very excited to create a couple of looks with my dream purple palette from Natasha. I don't even want to wipe these swatches off, they look so good. Okay, so I'm going to start my first look with my REPHR number 15 brush and the shade Phoebe, and I'm going to blend Phoebe all throughout the crease of my eye, just back and forth swiping with my big fluffy brush. And then I'm going to switch to, not this, that's my placeholder, but the shade R right here from the Mini Love palette, and blend that color on the outer third of the eye and also through the crease. So once that color R is blended, take a look already at like the more mauvey purpley vibes that we're getting from my purple palette. Switching to a REPHR number 1, and I'm going to get the shade Opart down here, or Eclipse. Should I get Eclipse? Let's do Opart. Maybe I'll do this one first and show you what that looks like, and if I want to, we'll go the burgundy route. But in case you want like a hint of purple but then also a bit more neutral, that's why I put Opart in there, because I love a dark brown outer corner, and that's what this looks like. I'm going to blend it in. So here's how that shade Opart neutralized my purple crease, but I am going to go to the shade Eclipse, which is more of a burgundy shade, and I'm going to add it right over top of Opart on the outer third of my eyelid, and I'm going to blend that color into the crease as well. And here's what that's looking like, in my opinion. Absolutely wonderful. Now let's go ahead and get some shimmers on the eyelid. I think I want to go for this color here, because this is a light lavender color called Bolt. See, here's what it looks like on the finger, and I'm just going to tap it right in the center of the eyelid and slowly blend it into my outer corner matte by tapping. Then I'm going into the shade Dainty here from the pastel palette, and I'm going to add that one as the inner third of the eyelid with a REPHR number 28, which is my favorite flat brush from REPHR. I'm defining my eyelid with it a bit. A little more of the shade Bold. Like sometimes shimmers go on so well with the finger, and then some other times they perform even better with a brush. Bold, for example, looks even better once I added some more with the brush. Now for the innermost corner of the eye, I'm going to use the shade Stargirl, still using my REPHR number 28 brush, and I'm going to just add Stargirl to the innermost corner and blend it in slightly. Ooh, I love the way this is looking so far. Pencil brush from REPHR, which is the number 3 and the shade Eclipse, and I'm going to smoke out my lower lash line around a third of the way in. And then with the color R from the Mini Love palette on a super small blending brush, this one is the Shoto something, Shoto 03 I think, I'm going to smoke out the rest of the way inwards. I did try and take that shade from the Mini palette to put it in the Roxa palette, but I almost broke it trying, so I couldn't do it. Here's what that looks like. Honestly, beautiful. Loving this eye look. See, it's like purple, but like not purple. I'm going to use this probably for both of my eye looks because it just matches. It's the number 1 pencil from Glossier in the shade Muse, and it just is the lightest lilac-y type color for the waterline. I do have a tiny bit of mascara on that I had added prior to filming this video, and here is what things look like. And I'm of course purposely using a lot of the shades that I added to the palette for my eyeshadow looks, because what would be the point if not to use them, right? So for the second look, I'm going to start with the shade Mesh, once again on a big fluffy brush. This one is the REPHR number 15, and I'm going to work Mesh all throughout the crease of my eye. So we're starting with a more neutral color for look number 2. So once that neutral shade is blended with a smaller brush, the REPHR number 1, I'm going to grab the shade Jacaranda, and this is what I'm going to tap on the outermost corner of the eye. Just tapping, tapping, tapping in order to create a really nice amount of intensity. And then with the tip of my brush, I'm going to start blending that very purple shade into the crease of my eye and just extending it upwards a bit, just back and forth with very light pressure. Back with the big fluffy brush, just to make sure the colors are melted into one another. I'm like, more purple, more purple. I'm adding more purple to the outer third. This color, Jacaranda, has incredible quality, and shades like that are so hard to get right when it comes to purple eyeshadow making. Like, I have shades like Jacaranda in a few other palettes in my collection, and none of them really work except for this one. They instantly get so patchy looking, and as you can see, that is not the case with this shade. It is beautiful. I'm going to grab the shade Concord with my finger, and I'm going to tap it on the outer part of the center of the eyelid, just like so, just like that. And then I'm going to switch to the shade Brink, different finger, and I'm going to do the inner part of the center of the eyelid. Sorry, I don't mean to flip you. Just like that. We have that pink going into purple, and then we're going to tone it down a little bit with the color Affinity here from the Love Face and Eyes palette. This one is a bit more neutral, and I'm going to add it to the inner third of the eyelid. And I believe that by using Affinity, I have now used all 5 shades that I switched up. So take a look. I love this sparkly shade. That looks beautiful. And then for the innermost corner, I want a tad bit of the shade Dixie. So I'm going to just stamp it right there. For the under eye, we're going back to Jacaranda with the REPHR number 3 and blending that shade a third of the way under here with my pencil brush. And then with a small blending brush, I'm back to the shade Mesh, and I'm going to smoke that out and bring Mesh all the way to the tear duct area. So check it out right here. Muse eyeliner to the waterline, and this is the finished second look. I went ahead and added some Kiss Rebel lashes in the style Main Character, and these right here are the finished looks. Take a look at look number 1. Super cool tone, purpley, smoky eye. And then this one a little more sparkly, a little more colorful. This is look number 2. As I was saying earlier, I made sure to use all 5 of the different shades I changed up in the Roxa palette in order to make it a bit more my purple palette taste. And then of course I still used a lot of the shades from the original Roxa palette. In fact, I believe that between both of my eye looks, I only did not use Flutter and Velour. I think every single other shade in this palette was used in order to create one of these 2 eyeshadow looks. This was honestly the best I could do with already existing shadows from Natasha Denona in order to make this Roxa palette a bit more the purple palette of my dreams. If I could create the shades myself and put them in here, it would definitely still look a bit different from this, but I'm pretty proud of how the shades that I changed this palette and overall make it look a bit more cool toned and a little bit more toned down. And it's still nice and purple with lots of purpley looking shades, but you can tone down your purple looks in order to make them a bit more wearable, in my opinion. So yes, I really hope that you guys liked this video. I know this is different from what I usually do, but I had fun getting creative with this palette and going through all of my Natasha Denona palette collection and changing up some shades to put in here. If you guys liked today's video, don't forget to please give it a thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget, if you're interested in any of the brush sales I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you can click on the products here that are tagged on the video to shop the BK Beauty brushes or the REPHR brush sale. And that is it from me today. If you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.